Good luck. All right, we're going to get started here. My name is Johnny Koenig. I'm joined here by my co-anchor, Tessa Allen. We are with Eagle Eye Television. This is Auburn's premier TV student media organization here. So I'm going to have Tessa tell us a little bit about what Miss Auburn means, and then we'll get right into the rest of our positions. Take it away, Tessa.
Yeah, War Eagle. So we're really excited to be live streaming this debate tonight. So first, Miss Auburn is the official hostess of Auburn University and really embodies the spirit of Auburn and what it takes to be an Auburn woman. And the candidates for 2026 Miss Auburn are Virginia Ann Holmes, Megan George, Riley Johnson, Camilla Lord, and Eliza Sundberg.
Alrighty, and we also have treasurer. He's actually running unopposed, Jackson Morse. Furthermore, we got the vice president, very, very important for the student body. They are responsible for overseeing all the Senate meetings. So we got Lily Poole and Colin Hale, both out of Dallas, Texas. And of course, what we're all really here for is the president. We got both Willis Orr and Landon Childress. So stick around, everyone. Special thanks to our friends in Columbus at WTVM for live streaming this. We're online for those of you sticking around on the Eagle Eye YouTube channel. Please stand by. We got Lucas Hazelrig, one of our apologies there, Lucas. We got Lucas here. He's going to be doing a quick interview with outgoing SGA president Owen Beaverstock. Take it away, Lucas.
Yeah, absolutely. Owen, 1 year ago, you were planning for this very debate. What's it like to stand on this stage and kind of address your student body?
It's definitely a surreal experience. It's an interesting feeling to look back on something that was a year ago, and crazy to see just how much life has changed. So definitely a very, very much a reflecting week for me and our whole crew that did this last year.
Absolutely. I'm sure there's a lot of emotions. If you're looking back at your tenure as a whole, what are you most proud of over your time as SGA president?
This is a good question because I think we've had an amazing year in the sense of being able to accomplish a lot. But looking back on our year, I think the things that I will take away and remember and be proud of are the friendships that we made with our team. They're all sitting back there, and they're the best. Not only with our team, but also with different leaders and administrators on campus. I think we've had an exceptional year of just getting to spend time with them, grow in community with them, and make Auburn a better place. Sure, absolutely. If you are addressing Landon and Willis right now, letting them know what kind of they can expect looking to fill your shoes this upcoming year, what would you say to them? Absolutely. I would just encourage you two guys, and all of y'all, just to know what this is really about, why you're doing this. Also, not to take yourself too seriously, and know that you're still a student. What an incredible opportunity it is to serve something that's bigger than each and every one of you guys, and what an exciting thing to step into. I'm jealous, in a way. Absolutely. If you had one final message for your Auburn student body, I know we talked about this on our one-on-one last week, but if you could address them one final time here for our viewers online and everybody in the audience, what would you say to them? Absolutely. Man, how thankful I am to get to do this for a year. I mean, one of the more formational experiences and years of my life for sure. And it's funny, there was a quote that I told all of the freshmen at Camp War Eagle pep rally this summer, and that is, if you love Auburn, Auburn will love you back. And that was something that was very true for me at the beginning of my time at Auburn, and now at the end of this kind of whole season is still even more true, and something that I'll remember for the rest of my life. So I can't be more thankful for this place and the people and the relationships that make it what it is. No doubt. To close this out, if you could let me know one defining moment from your term as SGA president. If you can think back over the whole year, what is one thing you could point to and say, hey, we accomplished that over my term here? I would say one thing that led to a lot of the success that we had, back to what I said earlier about the relationships that we made with people and leaders on campus. Our team did an exceptional job this year of meeting with our board and our trustees that guide our university. So getting to work with them on a personal and relational level just to get some things done, like getting a new residence hall in the works and security on campus 24/7. Just a couple of things from those relationships and things that we've been stewarding, that we've been given. That's kind of led to what we've got. Absolutely. Lots to be proud of. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for our viewers online for joining us for this interview. And we're going to bounce it back over to Johnny and Tessa. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Lucas, for that interview. So we are about to start in about 5 minutes momentarily, but until then.
Once again, thank you, everyone, not only for those joining us online and in person for the pre-show, but to all of our wonderful candidates here for their service here for Auburn. I know that it's a lot of work, but we really appreciate having each and every one of you here. Once again, my name is Johnny. I'm joined here by Tessa Allen, and this is for Eagle Eye News. Thanks, everyone. War Eagle.
War Eagle. My name is Owen Beaverstock, and I serve as the current SGA president. Welcome to the 2026 Student Government Association debate. We are excited that you're here. I want to start by thanking everyone who made this night possible, from the Milton Student Center staff to the student media, and of course, the SGA elections team. Thank you all for what you do. Over the course of the night, we will hear from the candidates seeking to lead this student body for this next year. First, we will hear from our Miss Auburn candidates, followed by the candidates for treasurer, vice president, and president. After brief opening statements, our moderators will ask all candidates a series of questions. These questions have not been approved by or shared with any campaign. Questions will be directed at specific candidates who will have 1 minute to answer, followed by a 45-second rebuttal from the other candidate, if relevant. Each round will conclude with the candidates delivering a closing statement. In traditional government debates, local and national news sources will serve as moderators for all public debates. To align with the structure and to provide for a real-world experience for all students participating, we'll have Auburn University student media leaders as moderators for tonight's debate. Tonight's debate moderators are Jack Sublett, station manager of Eagle Eye TV, and Brychelle Brooks, the editor-in-chief of the Auburn Plainsman. Now please join me in welcoming to the stage your 2026 SGA debate moderators.
Hello. My mic working? Oh, there we go. Okay. Hello, my name is Jack Sublett. Like Owen said, I am the station manager for Eagle Eye TV. I'm excited to moderate tonight's debate. Thank you all for coming.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Brychelle Brooks, moderating on behalf of the Auburn Plainsman. War Eagle.
So during tonight's debate, each candidate will receive a minute for their opening remarks, followed by the questions. At the end of each section, candidates will be given 30 seconds to offer their closing remarks. Please do your best to hold your applause until the end of each candidate grouping. So that's your Miss Auburn, your VP, your treasurer, and your president.
We'll begin tonight's debate with our Miss Auburn candidates. You may now begin with your opening statements, starting from left to right with Virginia Ann Holmes.
Hey everyone, my name is Virginia Ann Holmes, and I'm so honored to be standing before you today as a Miss Auburn candidate alongside these incredible girls. The ideals behind my platform, hand in hand with Virginia Ann, really strive around helping students feel supported, seen, and connected through every aspect of the Auburn family. What this looks like is connecting students to administration and professors through promoting transparent communication to ensure that student voices are heard and their needs are met. Secondly, this looks like connecting students to each other and really posing the question of what this university would look like if we came onto campus with the intention of meeting someone new. Lastly, this looks like connecting students to alumni, really promoting the relationships and the resources that we already have available on campus, while also encouraging professors to bring alumni back into the classroom to really provide that firsthand experience.
War Eagle, y'all. My name is Meg George, and I'm a junior from Charleston, South Carolina, studying neuroscience and also Spanish and social work. So coming to Auburn, I didn't even know what Auburn was until senior year of high school. So this truly is such a surreal experience for me. My platform, Made for More with Meg, is centered around day one, how we're created to be more than a student. So taking our unique parts of our stories and what makes us different and how we can learn from each other and grow in that. And then day two, More Than a Campus, is about regardless of becoming Miss Auburn or not, my desire to implement a mentorship connection program amongst the Auburn family. And then day three, More Than a Moment, is about leaving a lasting legacy of service that is rooted in serving continuously with one area of need in our community. So War Eagle, and thank y'all so much for coming out tonight.
Hi, I'm Riley Johnson, and I'm so excited to be here with all these girls and to see y'all out here. My campaign is Journey with Johnson, and the overarching theme is to leave people better than we found them. It's inspired by my major, which is elementary education, and how we get to build up the next generation of students. It's been so cool to see them in the community my junior year. It's been so much fun. And then also it's based on my dad who passed away a year ago and just the things I've learned from his life. And just in the past year of learning how much he loved to serve others. And while we're at this university, it's a great 4 years, but learning how to use our time selflessly and giving away the knowledge that we've learned. We have starting your journey, during your journey, and ending your journey. And it's all about helping others.
Hey y'all, War Eagle. My name is Camilla Lord, and I'm so thankful to be standing up front of y'all today. My platform, All Aboard with Lord, is centered around the idea that every student, no matter their background, deserves to be celebrated on this campus. I have 3 points in my platform, starting with the tracks, and that's what keeps Auburn connected and going. Each one of us in this room have some sort of connection, and one of them may just be that we're all Auburn students or Auburn alumni, but what this means is each one of us deserves to find our place on this campus, take our connectivity, and run with it. The next is the engine, and that's what keeps Auburn going. The momentum, the alumni, transfer students, everyone that comes here to feel supported and connected. And lastly is the engine. And the engine, lastly is the journey. And the journey is that every single one of us comes in here at the very beginning with a whole different perspective, and we all walk away an Auburn student and so much more.
War Eagle, y'all. My name is Eliza Sundberg, and I'm a junior studying business administration from Richmond, Virginia. My platform, Save a Seat with Sundberg, revolves around the idea that everyone has a seat at the Auburn table. My first point revolves around saving a seat for our alumni. Alumni showed me what it looks like to love Auburn and have it love you back. So my goal is to invite them back, whether it be 10, 20, or 50 years later, and show them there's a seat safe for them here. My second point revolves around our current students. So many students come to Auburn's campus, go to class, and go home, and don't speak to a soul all day. So inviting them in, showing them there's a place and a community for them. My final point is saving a seat for those who will come after us. So showing those prospective and incoming students that there is a place for them here at Auburn, no matter what their goals might be coming in, and that Auburn will make them a better person for it. Thank y'all.
All right, we will now move into our questions. You each will have a minute and a half to respond.
Our first question is for Megan George. What line of the creed outside of human touch resonates with you the most, and how does it guide the way you represent Auburn? You have a minute 30 to respond.
Yeah, I think the opening part of the statement, I believe in work, hard work. I think that we can be really quick to just invite others in the community and into the Auburn family along to what we're specifically passionate about, but it takes work to connect those outside of our own interests and bringing them in to what they're passionate about, what they want to get involved in, and how they can be a part of the Auburn family in a way that is just specific and unique to them and their story. And that takes work, that takes sacrifice, and that just takes something out of your own time, out of your own day. But it can be really impactful and meaningful when we show others that we want to see them, we want to hear them, we want to care for them, and we want Auburn to love them back for who they are, not just for what we can bring them into ourselves.
The next question is for Virginia Ann. If you have to give a guest of the university a completely honest assessment of Auburn, what would you share with them?
I think I would first share with them that Auburn is going to be what you make it to be. It's all about your story and really finding your passions and bringing your passions onto this university and making it your own. I think I've really seen that through my story. I grew up playing golf and then didn't continue playing golf at this university, but by using those passions, I've been able to serve out in the community. And I also use the gifts and ideas that I learned on the golf course to serve as a peer mentor here now on this university. But I would, really encourage them that it's important to have conversations with people on this university to learn more about the ways that they can be plugged into, because I think, it's a big university, but it's important to really get plugged in to find your community here on campus.
The following question is for Riley Johnson. Oh, wait.
That's right.
For Riley Johnson. If elected, what will the role of Miss Auburn look like for you on a week-to-week basis?
If elected as Miss Auburn on a week-to-week basis, I think I would prioritize the student experience. I think there might be a little bit of a gap in between some of the students on campus, and I feel like I would try my best each and every day to kind of mend that gap and just bring students together, no matter involved in organizations or in their college of school, whatever college they're in. I think it's important to be able to mend those relationships and bridge that gap between all of the students that are opposite.
Camila, what Auburn woman is your role model, and how does her example shape your approach to this role?
Absolutely. I
This is such a great question, getting us stand up here as a Miss Auburn candidate, because I can truly say that the former Miss Auburns have become friends to me, and that's really what's inspired me to step into this role, to take a nomination, to go out on interviews, and to face this campus for a platform that's inspired me, because the Auburn women and men sitting in this room have inspired me, and there's so many familiar faces throughout this room, and there's also so many familiar faces throughout this university because of those that have poured into me. Riley Parman is a great example of exactly that. You know her and you love her, and she has left us with some really big shoes to fill. And she's someone who has inspired this entire platform and the one standing among me to really just take what you're passionate about, and that's what people are going to listen to, because that's what you're going to love to talk about. So Riley's a great example of that. And another former Miss Auburn, Grace Krim, really swept me under her wings freshman year, asked me to be on her campaign without knowing me that well, and really showed me and inspired me that you can be a mentorship through whatever you're passionate about. She was a mentor to me, and she is a woman that I really look up to. So I think it's really cool to see Miss Auburn as someone who is not defined a true role, but is always someone that I've looked up to for whoever that is.
Lastly, a question for Eliza Sundberg. How do you plan to foster meaningful connections among Auburn students, and what has prepared you to do so in this role?
I think coming from out of state gave me a lot of perspective. I came knowing one person when I stepped foot on this campus, and so fostering those connections was something I really had to prioritize from the beginning. And I know it's hard, and I know it can just be such a daunting task to put yourself out there. So having those conversations with students, inviting them in, sometimes people really just want to be asked, how's your day? How are you doing? What are your plans for this week? And so really just inviting them in, having the simplest of conversations with them will build that foundation and let them go out and expand their wings just a little bit more on campus and let them get to know Auburn a little better.
You will now have 30 seconds to give your closing remarks, beginning with Megan.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank y'all all so much for coming out and supporting your girls or your president, vice president, and treasurer candidates. And just a moment on these girls here. It's really cool because we're all kind of going out for the same role, but I could call each of them a part of my campaign team just through the support and advice and wisdom that they shared with me. So I'm just really grateful to be sharing the concourse with them this week, and we hope to see y'all out there.
Again, just echoing what Meg said, I'm honored to be standing beside these girls today and truly just excited to be a part of this week with them. But again, I hope that you will walk hand in hand as a member of the Auburn family to really unite this place to serve students while they are on campus and then also in their years after graduation. Thank you.
I agree. It's been so fun to get to know these four girls, and I'm sure we can all agree that the title of Miss Auburn is so much more than that. And it's just such a cool way to get to bring the student body together and get to bring alumni back to this campus, and I'm just so excited to be here.
I can truly say that these are my friends standing up here today, and Auburn women. I think each of you can see that today. They are much more than just the Auburn creed. They are friends to me, and they are people who I really look up to. Something about my platform, All Aboard with Lord, is about a journey, and each one of us came up here on the stage with a different journey, and each one of you is sitting in this audience with a different journey, and I can't wait to hear more about that this week.
Yes, to echo what the other girls said, they're so awesome, so lucky to have found a community in them, and I hope that everyone on campus knows that there's a seat saved for them. It can be such a lonely feeling circling that table trying to find your name, but it is there, and there's always a seat saved, and so I'm just so thankful for the Auburn family.
Thank you. You may now step down from the stage.
You're so welcome.
Okay, just come up. Next, we will hear from our treasurer candidate, Jackson Morse. Jackson, you will receive 1 minute to give your opening statement. You may now begin.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jackson Morse, and I have the honor and privilege of running to be y'all's next SGA treasurer. I'm a finance major from Nashville, Tennessee, and I think before I get into anything concerning my platform, I think the most important thing for me to emphasize is my love for this school and how much I feel that it has given me. It's a true honor to be able to serve it in a position like this. I think to talk a little bit about my platform, Money on Morse, the 3 points are financial wellness, optimizing the budget, and prioritizing the current student, which is us, which is what makes Auburn what it is.
Thank you. We will now ask a series of questions. You will have 1 minute to respond to each.
What drew you to the role of SGA treasurer, and how has your experience at Auburn prepared you for it?
That's certainly an easy question to answer. I think freshman year, I had no idea what my plans were coming into Auburn, just that I instantly fell in love with it, and some pretty quick, clear role models formed. There was a fraternity brother of mine who was a past treasurer and really took me under his wing in ways that were not related to SGA, but just became a true friend and leader, which did lead me to joining SGA in the form of a financial projects director. And I think through that process, really finding a home in SGA and feeling truly welcomed and encouraged to be the best version of myself I could be led me want to continue in this role. And also really through that just felt the path laid before me by the Lord. So super excited.
In your platform, you mentioned wanting to focus on increasing students' financial literacy to prepare them to enter into a financially complex world. How will you increase Auburn students' financial literacy? You have 1 minute to respond.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think every treasurer says that, so it is a good question. But to give you something concrete, I'm very interested in making a financial literacy course a part of our core curriculum at Auburn. If you want to talk about Auburn students graduating, we are already so well prepared to be well-rounded to enter into the world. But how much more would we be if we were ready to pay our taxes, save for a house, mortgage, all the things like that? It's already a class at Auburn, but I want to just have everybody take it. I think something else interesting to me is there's a personal investment initiative that some similar peer institutions take part in that I'd like to bring to Auburn.
What steps will you take to support the SGA president in advocating that tuition and student fees are as affordable as possible for students?
Yeah, I mean, I think that comes down to the value of a dollar and truly appreciating that, how hard students and their families work to bring students to this awesome place. And money is, at the end of the day, what keeps this place running, what keeps the lights on for us to be here, pays all the wonderful staff that we have here, keeping this campus looking as awesome as it does, feeling as great as it does. So I really do think that that is something that is of importance to keep it somewhere that people can afford to come to. As an out-of-state person, I knew that that was something that was certainly important to me, so I can personally relate to wanting to keep those costs reasonable.
What is the greatest financial concern facing students today, and how can SGA help address it?
That is a good question. Well, I think the typical housing thing is always going up. It's always increasing. It's a very just ambiguous thing to say that we're just going to drive housing prices down, but it's certainly of concern. And is something that I'm excited to look into because, again, how do you keep the student on this campus? How do you prevent students from having to drive miles in? Again, keep what makes this place what it is here.
You now have 30 seconds to give your closing remarks.
Yeah, guys, to reiterate, thank you guys for trusting me to be up here. I really appreciate all you guys coming out tonight. Good luck to my fellow major candidates. I'm super excited to go through this process with y'all. And yeah, War Eagle.
Thank you. Next, we will hear from our vice presidential candidates. So, in the following categories, candidates will have the opportunity to not only answer questions, but rebuttal them. When a question is asked to a candidate, the opposing candidate will have the opportunity to respond to what the original candidate stated. You may now begin with your opening statements, starting with Colin. You have 1 minute.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for coming out. If I've had the opportunity to introduce myself yet, my name is Colin Hale, and I've been blessed with the opportunity to run for Vice President of SGA. These past 2 years, especially as a freshman, now as a junior, a lot of people have played a lot of pivotal roles, and as people in these chairs right here, and also the people before us. A little bit about my platform. There's 3 points. First is, here's what's on the table. This is based on transparency and accountability. It's really making sure that the decisions that administration is making up at a higher level are being efficiently and effectively communicated down to us students. The second point is going to be play your hand. So this is based off of budget oversight and allocation. So I had the opportunity to be the Budget and Finance Committee Chair this past year and had a lot of different changes come up. But we really want to make sure that the money that all of us are paying in our tuition is going towards events and initiatives that all students can access. And lastly is really just being all in, really just making sure that all of us in here have been involved.
That's 1 minute.
Thank you all.
Lily Poole, you'll now have, 1 minute.
Hi, all. I'm so honored to be standing up here next to Colin and in front of all of you guys. We're so excited to get this week started, but again, I'm Lily Poole and I'm a junior. I'm from Dallas, Texas, majoring in English with minors in business and philosophy. These past 3 years, over the course of my college experience, I've gotten the opportunity to run for Senate and be on Senate for 2 years, serving as a member of the Code of Laws Committee and as the Code of Laws Committee Chair. We've gotten to see so many cool projects, and it's been such an honor to be there. A little bit about my platform. We are embracing the Auburn experiences, taking on those new challenges that Auburn brings, and we're engaging with each other. We are fostering those relationships and building relationships among our peers, and then we're empowering each other to be successful, to do well here, and to go forth beyond Auburn.
All right, our first question is for Colin. What is your leadership style and how will you utilize it in this position?
Yeah, that's a great question. First off, I think my leadership comes from my work ethic. In high school, you're kind of learning about how to study, different things like that. But I feel like once I got to Auburn and got into Auburn, I was actually deferred, but that was a whole process, and I feel like that pushed my work ethic to something that's continued to build on top of that. And so with that, my leadership skills come from my work ethic and also being able to reach out to people and be personable. It's easy to be the person that's like all stuck up and everything like that, but I think it says a lot about someone when they can come and like have a serious conversation with you, but also help you to be a better person. So I feel like my work ethic is going to help me a lot there.
Lily, you now have 45 seconds to rebuttal Colin's statement.
Yeah, I think that's great. And to add to that, I think that my leadership skills would be just overall relationship building. That's something that's been super important to me and just vital in my Auburn experience, getting to know those around me, just taking the new opportunities, being mentored by people, taking relationships and investing in them with people that I never thought that I would meet here. It's really the way to get to know people and the way to help them trust you to lead them.
This question is for Lily. How will you use your leadership style to promote growth in the student body around you? You have 1 minute to respond.
Yeah, I think those conversations, building relationships with people, helping them get to know that the Auburn experience can be so much more than just making friends, that they can invest in those organizations that they didn't know about. Coming to Auburn, I had no idea that I would be able to get involved with SGA. That was just something that I was totally unaware of. But through conversations with those older friends, through conversations with my peers around me, I was able to get involved with organizations and build my Auburn experience, and I think that that just translates over to building relationships with those younger than us and just helping them rise to the different occasions and opportunities that are presented to them.
Colin, you have 45 seconds to rebuttal.
Yeah, I think with work ethic this past year, being the Budget and Finance Committee Chair, we had to completely turn around the whole process that usually takes 7 months into 1 month and then split it up into 2 different processes. And so I had the opportunity to reach out and meet with a lot of different organizations here on campus, getting to like people in all different corners. And so I feel like being able to use that, as Lily mentioned, relationships, but also the work ethic that came behind that is going to be very beneficial.
Colin, you structured part of your platform around clearer lines of communication between SGA and the average Auburn student. What pathways will you use to communicate with students?
Yeah, I think right off the bat, colleges need to be closer with their senators. And so I think a way that we can do that is by having senators go to their student council meetings once a month. I think that would be awesome, just to make sure that everyone's connecting there. And then also with every school has office hours. We do have signs for those, but I think making those signs something that you have to use so everyone knows where you're having office hours, when it is, and not just a few students sitting at the bottom of one of your big buildings. So I feel like that would be a great way.
Lily, you have 45 seconds to rebuttal.
Yeah, something just to add to those things. I think that something super underutilized and not as well known about are Senate Open Forum. That's just a place where anyone can come into Senate, that they can express their concerns, they can sit in. All those meetings are actually open to all students, and so those are just great ways for the students to come in and to get to hear about what we're doing, and where we can hear them out, thoughtfully consider their concerns, and be ready to pass legislation that will actually benefit them.
This next question is for Lily. Your platform is built on encouraging students to step out of their comfort zones to find their place in Auburn. How would you ensure that senators take action on this? You have 1 minute.
Yeah, coming to Auburn, like I said, I had no idea what SGA was. I had no idea how to get involved, and that was something that I was poured into by older people, but I think that the senators can have a great role in that, just engaging with their committees, engaging with their peers, and then beyond that, engaging with the student council. I think that student council is a great place to engage with their colleges, and just getting Senate involved with our executive student council is a great way to talk to the students in every single college, at their events, in their classes. I think that's just a great place for them to be able to ensure that every student knows about the opportunities around them.
Colin has 45 seconds to rebuttal.
Is there any way you can repeat that question?
The initial question was, your platform is built on encouraging students to step out of their comfort zones to find your place in Auburn, that being Lily's platform. How would she ensure that senators take action on that?
Yeah, like she said, great response. But I think in that regard with, everyone comes from a different place, relationships, everything like that. Everyone has their own story, as a lot of our Miss Auburn candidates explained. And I think, just honestly, just being open to respond to people, to talk to people, have those true conversations. Like I said earlier, it's easy to put up guards and be the person that's all awesome and stuff like that. But at the same time, building true relationships here at Auburn is what it's all about.
Colin, if you could change or clarify one thing in the SGA Code of Laws, what would it be and why?
Let's see. I think kind of adding something would be kind of mentioned in my platform about the construction updates. I know since about 2019, with the new quad hall going in and everything like that, it's been a lot of confusion, and students haven't really been able to understand what is completely going on. And so I think we've learned from that to maybe what I thought that I had was to bring in a construction update of an email or something like that to add to the Code of Laws, that students are continuing to hear about and to understand, because as we mentioned, that was supposed to take place in 2019, but everything went south when COVID hit. So,
Lily, you have 45 seconds to rebuttal.
Yeah, I've been the chair of the Code of Laws Committee for the past year, so we've seen so many projects come across the floor, and something that's been super helpful this year has just been looking at the code chapter by chapter, looking at how clear it is and how those processes and that code actually affects the exact process that we do. So something that I think that we would love to see in the future is just each chapter getting revised, adding things, taking things out that we don't do, and just really having the code reflect what we actually do in practice here at Auburn.
This next question is for Lily. If Senate could only pass one resolution this year advocating to administration for something, what should it be for and why?
Yeah, something that we've been working on recently with academics has just been a resolution for different syllabuses, and we've just been working with administration with that, and I think that's been such a great experience. I think that the academic realm is something that our resolutions can really have a great effect on. I think that there's lots of room for improvement, just with the way that our teachers can communicate with us, and with the way that our syllabuses are written, maybe a standard line of communication in standard form for those things.
Colin, you have 45 seconds to rebuttal.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned this with the construction updates. But yeah, just kind of adding on to that, I feel like students don't know what a lot goes on around here in that regard. And so making sure that people are continuing to understand what's going on, a lot of confusion and a lot of frustration also comes from that. So I guess just kind of adding on to that, making sure that students are understanding what construction is going on, but also safety alerts. That's also a part of my platform. Making sure that, I know we had a mishap with that this year with a bunch of different things going sideways, different things coming out, and so just also maybe doing a better job at keeping hold of that.
Colin, how would you navigate a situation where a senator wants to write a bill that you may not personally agree with, but it represents student interest?
Yeah, I think first off, our job here, Lily and I, whoever wins, is to be able to make sure that we are giving the senators all the resources that we can provide. And at SGA level, we have a bunch of advisors, a bunch of different relationships that we want to continue. And so making sure that we're giving them all those resources, but also continuing to push them to think outside of the box. I mean, they're one student of 35,172 students. So to think of the other students outside of that, I would really push them to think about that and to, just take everyone else into account. It's really easy to think about yourself, but stepping outside of that box.
Lily, you have 45 seconds to rebuttal.
Yeah, I think as Vice President, our role really isn't to write legislation, pass legislation, but to be able to support our senators on projects that they have coming up, ideas that they have, just giving them every single bit of information that they need to be successful, whether that's a conversation or looking at the code or a meeting with your advisor, just everything that they need to be able to get that feedback from the students and be able to make educated choices on the legislation that they're working on.
This next question is for Lily. If you encounter a piece of legislation that is desired by students but resisted by other campus stakeholders, how would you guide that process?
Yeah, I think that that's something that comes with the job in SGA, especially as you get higher up just working with administration. You really want to listen to what they have to say because at the end of the day, they really know what's going on and they're working hard at a higher level than we are, but we are also on the feet with the students. We're at their level and we hear them. So being able to be in those meetings with administrators and being able to be a voice of the students is super important while also listening to what they have, but giving them every bit of feedback that we have to offer.
Colin, you have 45 seconds.
Yeah, I think Lily said it well, but I think also Auburn already does a great job of this. Owen, obviously being the president right now, is considered a student board of trustee, and a lot of other universities don't have that. So I think Auburn already does a great job of listening to their students. But I think as vice president, being in that tough spot, I think you really have to make sure that everyone's thinking outside of themselves, like I mentioned earlier. It's really easy to get consumed with your thoughts and also put up guards, as I mentioned. But I think just hearing both sides of the story and making sure that you're doing your due diligence when it comes to that.
Colin, you have 30 seconds for your closing remarks.
Thank you all so much. 3 years ago today, being a freshman, I would have never thought I'd have the opportunity to stand up here in front of y'all. So it's because of the people in front of us and the people that have come before us. But I'm truly thankful to be up here. Y'all have been awesome. Everyone up here has been supporting us, and it's just been overwhelming. But I look forward to seeing you on the concourse, and I hope you go all in with Colin. Thank you.
Lily, you have 30 seconds for your closing remarks.
Yeah, like Colin said, it's such an honor to be up here, such an honor to be in front of you guys. We've had so much fun during this process so far, and the past 3 years have meant so much to me. They've been so essential to my Auburn experience. Everything that's led up to this moment has been wonderful, and we're just excited to get the week started. So we can't wait to see you guys out there. Don't forget to dive in with pool.
Thank you. You may now step down from the stage. For the last portion of the evening, we will be hearing from our presidential candidates. Please join me in welcoming Landon Childress and Willis Orr. Just like with before, you may now begin your opening statement, starting with Landon. You have 1 minute.
Hey guys, thank you all so much for having me. It truly is an absolute honor to be here. I'm just so blessed, and I thank you each for having me. Like Jack said, my name is Landon Childress. I have the unique honor of running to be this year's SGA president. And one thing about that is my campaign, the platform, which is Lead with Landon. So about that, we have 3 points, which is lead the legacy, lead by action, and lead by example. And that is all after the mentors and leaders who have led me along the way. So we want to be able to do that, be able to serve Auburn well. And I invite you all to lead with me.
Willis, you have 1 minute.
Hey y'all, I'm Willis Orr, running also to be SGA president. We're so excited to have this week finally be here. We put in a lot of work, so this is the most exciting week of our year. So I want to introduce a little bit of my platform. We're Forward with Orr, and so that's broken up into 3 different things. First, it's Forward in Opportunity, Forward in Quality, and Forward with Distinction. And so we've both been here for 3 years, and in these 3 years, we've heard a lot of feedback. And I've been, since freshman year, being in SGA, heard a lot of feedback from the students, and I've heard these things that they've harped on, and that's kind of what's built this platform. This platform is solely built on the things that students have complained about and been frustrated about since freshman year. So, yeah, we'll talk more about that. We have a lot of questions coming.
Our first question is for Landon. How will you keep the student body informed about SGA initiatives, decisions, and processes throughout the year?
Thank you so much. I think that's a great question, one that I'm very excited about. A big part of my platform has been making sure that SGA is a voice of the students just as much as we're listening to our student body. Big thing that we want to do with that is make sure that we have a constant line of communication through our social media. So making sure that we're having weekly updates as well as monthly updates of what goes on in SGA. A lot of students want to know what is going on with the administration that is leading them. And so that's one thing that we really are excited about.
Yeah, we heard from the vice presidents. That was great, talking about the Senate office hours. And I think that's a great thing. Being in front of the students is the most important thing. If the students don't see us, they don't know that if we're doing anything. And the biggest thing that I hear, being in SGA, what do y'all do in SGA? What is SGA? And that's something we want to let students know that what we do. We want to let them know that we're here to serve you. We're your voice. That's our biggest priority. That's our number one priority.
The following question is for Willis. If student priorities conflict with administrator perspectives, how would you navigate that situation?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've heard that that's a big thing in years past, is that sometimes the student voice doesn't always go with the administration. But the thing that I love about Auburn, and the best thing, the thing that makes Auburn Auburn, is that the administration listens to the student voice. The student voice is the biggest voice at Auburn. Bobby Wooders said it several times. Every time I hear him speak to students, he says it. If we build it based on what 50-year-olds want, it'd be great for 50-year-olds. But no, they listen to the 18 to 24-year-olds. That's what makes Auburn Auburn. So navigating those situations is always great. But I think the administration does a great job working with you.
Sorry, Landon, you have 45 seconds to respond.
Thank you, Jack. One thing that I really want to say is, at the end of the day, my job as SGA president would be the voice of the students. So that is one thing that our administration does so well with Owen currently, is that we are here for you. So our administration does such an excellent job of hearing the voice of the students through the SGA president. And I just want to make sure that we have a consistent, constant communication between the body of Auburn and then obviously the administration itself. Now, if that were ever to go differently, I think it's just a consistent feedback and just making sure that we can make sure everyone's heard. Yeah.
Landon, as an advisory member of the Board of Trustees, how will you advocate for students within that group?
Thank you. I believe that our Board of Trustees does such an excellent job now. We really have administration here at Auburn that has always just put students first. One thing that I really want to do with that is, like I said previously, just being able to consistently hear what our students have to say through office hours, through meeting with them, through going to different organizations and going to different visits and being able to relay that well. I want to make sure that our board hears our student body and continues to be receptive to all the good ideas that we have as students here at Auburn.
Yeah, I think data is the biggest thing. So we have a great feedback team in SGA, and they collect data from the students, and that's really how you can push things with administration. And administration sees this data that we have, X amount of students that have advocated for this, said this is what we want. That's going to mean so much more. And so that's the biggest thing to me is the data.
Next question for Willis. Aside from SGA feedback sessions, how will you ensure that you are hearing from and representing all Auburn students, including those who may not feel connected to student government?
That's a great question, because we have a whole diverse group of people in SGA, cabinet and Senate, and lobby board and forum, and so it's no one kind, but there's a lot of people who don't feel like they're connected to those. So there's been a lot of talk about town hall meetings outside of SGA, and so I think those are great, and those are times to get in front of the students and be there for them to give you feedback, and where you can be that they feel like they can have their voice heard. And then another thing that we do it right now is we're on the concourse weekend for once a month with feedback and ask me days, and so that's that's a great way to get in front of the students, where any student can come up and say, hey, what is SGA? Or, I have this issue that I want fixed, and so on.
Landon, you have 45 seconds to rebuttal.
Thank you, Jack. I believe to respond, just what a great answer, honestly, Willis. I think a big way, obviously, SGA is the voice of the student body, right? So the only way we can do that is by continuously taking in feedback at all times. And I think one way that we've done so well with that in the past is by having a constant communication with our exec staff. That's something that I would really love to do in my administration, is make sure that people don't feel like SGA is hard to reach. People feel like it is a place that is truly on their behalf. We are on the students' behalf, and that's what I want to do with visits with coffee with SGA, and then concourse visits as well.
Landon, what do you think is the biggest issue currently facing Auburn students, and how will you take initiative on solving this issue?
I think one thing about Auburn that I love so much is that and I know I keep harping on this, but we keep hearing the students. We do. I think one thing that I've heard consistently, and you've all heard it before, is parking. Parking is something that we really want to improvise and improve on, because we have some students who are pulling into class or pulling into parking lots and getting tickets just to drop their friends off. We want to improve that with a grace period. We would also like to advocate for different parking zones to be added on. So our Rec and Wellness Center does not yet have a parking lot. That's something that we would want to add to for our students who go to the rec. And then we would also like to continue transportation as a whole with our ETA Spot app, and continuously re-transforming that to making it better, and just a more positive interface for students to be able to know how to use. So, yeah.
Liz, you have 45 seconds to rebuttal.
Yeah, so if you ask any student in here, they probably bring up one of three, if not all three. It's parking, housing, and they can't get into classes. And those are three of the biggest things. That's what makes Auburn a university. Is we have people living here, we have people going to class. And so the only way that is really we're really able to fix this problem immediately right now is to begin to cap enrollment. And I know that's could be a harsh thing, but it's necessary, and we need to make this happen. The more students you have here, and you only have so much capacity to work with, and so if our capacity isn't fitting our enrollment numbers, we need to fix that. And that's a big part of my campaign. It's a big thing that I want to do. And yeah, I think it's going to make up for a lot better getting into classes so we can graduate on time, right?
One of the most important things as a leader is one of the most important things a leader must do is select and lead their team. Willis, what do you believe SGA members need to demonstrate to be operating as a highly effective team under your leadership?
Yeah, I think the currency of Auburn is relationships, and that's the biggest thing. If you can't form a relationship with someone, I don't think you can be a good leader. And that's something that is a quote that you'll hear a lot of people say. But the currency of Auburn is relationships, and so definitely focus on that's a focus. And then secondly, having initiatives in yourself, having initiatives that you have for Auburn is another big thing. If you don't look around and see things that can improve, if you're not always analyzing, how can this place be better? We love this place. We chose it because we love it. But everything can always be better. So if you're not looking around and saying what can be better, then that's going to be tough to have a good leader.
Landon, you have 45 seconds to rebuttal.
Thank you. I believe that the way to pick any team is by obviously understanding the needs of our students. So one thing I think that will make or break a term is by picking staff and continuously working with the men and women of SGA to have a brighter Auburn. One thing that I want to do with that, and Willis kind of stole my line a little bit, because yes, that is relationships truly is the currency of success here. And that is one of the things that I love. I love people. So I believe making good relationships and friendships with my team and the people who are leading Auburn well is just going to be just detrimental. Yeah.
Landon, if you were responsible for allocating $1 million to a project the student body needed, what would be your most preferred project and why?
I appreciate that question. I believe currently, that's actually a great question in my opinion, because one thing that we are currently working on with my administration, something that I would love to do, is make some continuous improvements to our Rec and Wellness Center. Right now we have just an awesome place. I've gotten the opportunity to meet with the leadership there, and one thing that our team would like is to improve different aspects of that. So we would like to put in a sauna. We'd like to put in different various classes for our student body. We also would like to improve the technology there. That would be part of the $1 million, obviously. And then from there, we would also like to expand not only our partnerships with housing, but our housing education. I think that's something that our students would really benefit from, just to be able to not only know, hey, when I get to campus, I have to start doing classes, but now I have to find my next place to live.
Willis, you have 45 seconds.
So one thing that I've kept on bringing up, and I've been bringing this up since freshman year, is Christmas lights. We all want, or at least I really want Christmas lights on campus, and I've gotten a lot of feedback from students that say that's my favorite one of your platform points. Had a girl come up to me today and said, "Wait, are you the Christmas guy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm the Christmas guy." And so that would definitely be a part of that. I think that's tradition is one of the biggest things that Auburn has going for it, and why not build traditions? Why not build new traditions? And if we could be the happiest students in the country during Christmas time also. I came here freshman year and was frustrated, like, what are we doing? We don't have enough Christmas lights around here. So that definitely would be part of the $1 million for me.
Next question for Willis. What are your first 3 concrete plans once you're in office, should you be elected? How will you ensure that these goals are met?
So I'd say the biggest, right when you get into office, you gotta, choose your team. And then once you have your team, we all bring goals together. That's the thing that I love about it, is that we have all different goals. 3 of my goals, capping enrollment, I've already touched on that for a little bit. And then there's kind of a break between things that SGA can directly control, things that we can just executively do, and then things that have to go through the university. One thing that we can do, and make the executive call on, is changing the way campaign weeks look. I said part of my platform has been built on hearing feedback from the students, and that's one of the biggest gripes, is that people don't like the way campaign weeks look. And a lot of the people in this room, we're the ones that are super involved, and we love it. We love the joy that it brings to the concourse. But a lot of students take other routes to get to classes. If you look at Yik Yak during campaign week, it's ridiculous. And so we want to change the way that looks and take the campaigning off the concourses, off the main concourses, the congested areas, and take it to the green space and away from where the students are trying to get to class.
That is 1 minute. Thank you. Landon, you will now have 45 seconds to rebuttal.
Jack, thank you so much. Willis, great points as well. One thing that I have loved about our platform, the way that we have structured it, is as a to-do list. We have gone through and said, okay, these are the exact topics that we need to fix. And so the second that our team takes office, if that blessing and the Lord's will comes upon with that, we really know exactly what we want to do. We want to completely transform the ETA Spot app. We want to completely improve parking. We also would love to do follow through on the promises that we have made to the people that we have been able to visit during this time, with our sauna, with the Rec and Wellness Center, and then obviously with our housing and transportation.
Thank you to you both. You may now give your closing remarks, starting with Landon. You have 30 seconds.
Thank you, Jack. This has been an absolute joy of a lifetime, truly. This has been a dream of mine for some time now, and I'm blessed to be able to step into what an amazing time, truly. So thank you so much. I'm just blessed to be here. I'm excited for this time on the concourse. I invite y'all to come out there, and I invite y'all at the end to lead Auburn and lead with me.
Yeah, just to close out, I've been in SGA for a couple of years now, heard a lot of feedback, and now's an opportunity to put that feedback into place. And so I'm excited to have this week. Hope to see y'all out in the concourse. We've got a lot of material, and we've got a lot more things that we're really excited about. Please come up to our table. We're going to be the orange table, so can't miss us. We're bright orange. So yeah, come up, hear a lot more about our platform, and yeah, forward.
Thank you to you both. You may now step down from the stage. And please welcome to the stage Catherine Turner, Executive Director of Elections.
Well, thank you so much to everybody that came out. That concludes tonight's debate. And thank you to all the candidates for participating in and running your campaigns. My name is Catherine Turner, serving as the Executive Director of Elections this year. And just on behalf of SGA Elections team, I just wanted to thank you for attending in person or for tuning in to the live stream tonight. And another thank you to Eagle Eye TV and the Auburn Plainsman for moderating, and to WTVM and Eagle Eye for their willingness to put on this production for us. Please make sure that your voice is heard by casting your vote vote in the online elections this Friday, February 6th at aub.ie/SGA vote from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then in the meantime, you can check out the Auburn SGA website or our social media pages for more information on each candidate and how to vote. But thank you, and War Eagle.
Q&A session? Start doing your stand-up.
What's the deal with him?